And hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Exotics Radio Setup. I hope you guys sit down and enjoy. We've got our first song coming up for the night, which is Coming Together by Oogie. Oh, no, wait. Hold on a second. Midnight Radio.
This town's so lame, I'm feeling so wired. It's 4 a.m., I'm not even tired. We're in your car, we can drive away. Oh yeah, we're almost there. I'm loving this feeling of something new. Just right what I needed. Take me there, we can drive away. Oh yeah. Listen to the midnight radio. Listen to the midnight radio. We can drive through the night, sing along to the midnight radio. Don't wanna wait all my life, can't remain, no delay, gotta let it go. A gentle breeze, the night's got a fever, to the moon and back, playing loud in the speakers. You and me, can I marry you right away? Oh yeah. Listen to the midnight radio. Listen to the midnight radio. We can drive through the night, sing along to the midnight radio. Don't wanna wait all my life, can't remain, no delay, gotta let it go. We can drive through the night, sing along to the midnight radio. Don't wanna wait all my life, can't remain, no delay, gotta let it go. Listen to the midnight radio. Listen to the midnight radio. We can drive through the night. Oh, don't wanna wait all night. We can drive through the night, sing along to the midnight radio. Don't wanna wait all my life, can't remain, no delay, gotta let it go. We can drive through the night, sing along to the midnight radio. Don't wanna wait all my life, can't remain, no delay, gotta let it go.
And we are officially on, ladies and gentlemen. I am Cracks, your host. Welcome to another Comfy Pants Wednesday. I'm glad everybody can make it. We've got Opie's dad from Opie's Spider-Verse with us. We've got Scott's Animal Adventures, who's just joined us, our lovely co-host. Hello, Scott. How you doing?
Not too bad. I just had a glass explode on me and it had mouse water in it. So had to sterilise and clean up and everything. So sorry I'm a bit late.
No, it's fine. We also have Ellie's bug babies with us. Ellie decided to just drop in. I know she was busy. She's got a lot of things she's going to do. She's got people she needs to visit and say hi. Hopefully she'll extend our thanks or hellos to them. because apparently Spider Mom and a couple of others are having a podcast 1 day per week this week. I was trying to keep up with it, but of course when they come on, I'm kind of busy. So, long story short, here we go. Hopefully you're on fairly loud. Do you want to say hi? And I'm looking at the quality here.
Hi. Yeah, if my fan's an issue, I can turn it off. It's just a bit warm in my room.
Oh, no. It's just I was a little bit worried about it not picking up on the recording, but you're loud and clear. We even have Mark, the spider guy. Now, Mark just released a video, and I loved it because, you know, I was having a rough day today. I was having a really rough day. For a minute there, I thought I even broke my back again. You know, some people are like, again. Technically, a stress fracture is considered a break, so let's just put it that way. Mark's had this cute little spider he was feeding. It was a black velvet spider, and it nipped it in the butt. And of course, you know, that's how it was eating, holding it. It was just the cutest little thing. Cheered me up for the day. So I just wanted to give Mark a special shout out and say thank you for sharing. I'm so excited. I'm happy to have such a great group of people, great group of listeners. I love my fans, especially when they make little videos like that just cheer me up. So
yeah, definitely. It always picks up your day.
So so now go back to what happened to you. Why did you have a glass break on you? Glasses just don't generally explode.
Well, I was carrying a few glasses just just to take downstairs or whatever, because I had a couple of drinks today, and I had them in like the triangle, like the old bar, like as you're taking the drinks back to your table type style. And for some reason, this glass just decided it was going to explode, and so I've got water all up my door and everything. I had to clean it all up, and luckily I only caught my thumb very minorly, and it stopped bleeding now. So I'm just waiting for it to fully seal. But yeah, not the best thing to happen just before I'm meant to be on a stream.
Imagine you were in a panic, as much as I was. We had a friendly emergency, so I was rushing through the door, you know, like stripping all my clothes off to jump into my comfy PJs. Spider Mom 1978 has just joined us. She can't stay, but she will be here for a few. They have the FF3 lineup draw in 15 minutes. Lineup drawing in 15 minutes. Okay. Well, no, thank you, Spider Mom, for stopping by. Appreciate it. Very, very much appreciate it. Now, I also just recently learned that Scott with Scott's Inverts is still having his draw. It ends the 20th. So if you're not subscribed to that, if you've not dropped in for that, go check it out. It's actually pretty good. And I'm also got a microphone cover. So if you hear me gasping for breath, for some reason, I'm short of breath for as of late, but we think it's because of my back injury. And anyways, you guys won't be hearing that anymore, which I'm pretty happy about that. We've got Stefan Hotup, who just joined us. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate it. Now, I just want to point out, Mark, the spider guy, has just put out a cutest little video. Go check it out. I just can't get over it because it was just so cute. It was just absolutely so cute. But yeah. So this is what happens when I'm like in a rush and I come in and I'm all hyped up and amped up.
It's never a bad thing.
Well, no, it is a little bit because this is during times like this is what happens because I'll think, oh, I need to do this or this with my tarantulas, and this is when I usually get bit because I'm always in a hurry. It's always a new world that bites me, and it's always because I'm in a hurry. So I just.
So your equivalent of breaking a glass in your hand is getting bit by a new world.
Yeah, pretty much. It's interesting because, like I said, it's always because I'm in a hurry. I'm never paying attention, so I'm just like, oh, it's a new world, because it's for some reason, old world alarm bells go off, and so I'm like, oh, where are you? I take the time to find out where they're at. Crack open their enclosure once I realize that they're in their hide, because 9 times out of 10 they want to run from you. New worlds are like, oh, it's feeding time. Let's come out and say hi.
Yeah,
I
suppose it's similar with reptiles. It's you've got that snake that will never bite you, but at one time when you're just not really paying attention to it is when you catch it off guard, and then suddenly you've got it dangling off your finger.
giving you a good gnaw. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
you just taste good today. Ellie's bug baby says they fed every animal today. Didn't take half the time now. I'm not trying to film for FF3. No, FF3, Fatal Fangs. What's with the 3? I don't know what the 3
Yeah,
stands
so
for.
I believe it's the third competition.
Ah, okay. Because I'm a bit newer to the group, so I don't know everything that's going on. So that'd be kind of cool. But I'm not filming for Fatal Fangs. I'm not filming. I don't like to film my tarantulas when they're eating. I think I covered that in a podcast Fatal Fangs 3. Yeah, that's what he was explaining. I knew it was Fatal Fangs, but I couldn't remember the number 3. But mainly because as my mother had brought it to my attention, she is, classic phobia, very arachnophobic. She's also very scared of snakes as well. And if she says if I'm going to try and help people get into the hobby, I shouldn't be showing them, that they attack animals. I'm like, dude, it's insects and it's cool to watch. She goes, for somebody who's not afraid, maybe, but for people like her, it's actually terrifying. So I kind of try to keep it, it's mom, you try to honor her wishes and stay away from doing stuff like that. But that's just me, though. I really do love those videos. I love the feeding videos. They're really fun to watch. If I didn't think it was fun to watch, I wouldn't own tarantulas because I get a kick out of it. Mainly because I have to, I said half the insects that I feed them I really, really don't like. Though I did finally find somebody who does raise moths. Took me forever. I don't want the caterpillars. I want the actual moths. And the reason why, because pokies love moths. Moths are a good snack. I wouldn't consider them a good nutritional wise. I don't think they'd be very good, but I think they'd make an excellent good snack. Really good way to stimulate an arboreal tarantula. So I'm trying to, the gentleman that I talked to this summer will have some. So for all my arboreals this summer, we'll probably get a little snack. And I might film that because I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, that would be epic. I think for me, the feeding videos are what actually kind of gradually got me more comfortable with tarantulas. And it's really odd because I started watching them and I felt my fear response just kick in, but I was compelled to carry on watching. And then as you kind of watch other videos like watering videos and stuff like that, especially with Dark Den, it just really kind of settled my phobia over time. And I think feeding videos are great because although it shows you the most brutal response a tarantula can give, it's also, if it's done right, it shows you like the happy dance and stuff like that, especially with Petco. I just absolutely loved it because it took away the scariness of it and it made it more entertaining and more interesting.
Oh, absolutely. I have to agree with that because the happy dance is one of the most favorite things to watch. And if you give them a personality when you see it, it takes away the fear of not knowing this animal. And I think that's one of the biggest things when it comes to arachnophobia, when it comes to fearing spiders. You don't know the animal, whether you're not very educated on the animal species or whatnot. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like a dog or a cat. You don't know the animal, so you're a little bit, you put a little bit of distance between yourself and them. Now, if you give them a personality and let the person get to know them, you take away that fear. So you basically shed a different type of light on it, if I should put it that way. And,
exposure over time.
Exactly. And so, yeah, it's just really fun. Now, this is open mic night, so I just want to give everybody a quick shout out before everybody takes off. We got Stefan Harop, Mark the Spider Guy. We have Ellie Bug Babies. Hey, Ellie, I did it right, finally. We got Spider Mom 1978. We also have a couple of other people coming in a little bit later. I have getting a hold of them. I have to poke them again and remind them. Bailey didn't know if he was going to make it or not. He's got plans to have some whiskey with a friend tonight. Kind of jealous of the bastard, but he will be here Friday. So if you guys are looking forward to Bailey coming and hanging out, he'll be here on Friday. So I know you'll be here Friday, so you're. And guess who else is going to be here on the 26th? The 26th, which is not this Friday, but the next Friday coming up. Do you know who's going to be here?
Nope.
Our favorite June.
Just trying to think.
I'm going to let him process that one.
It's not coming to my mind.
Jade, sorry, not June. Oh God, don't tell her I said that.
I was gonna say I can't think of any Junes in the hobby.
Oh, for some strange reason, I was thinking June. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I made that blunder. I'm horrible with names, by the way, people. But Jade will be here on the 26th. I'm going to drill her about her little bunnies. I also, since I said I was going to interview somebody that owns bunnies, of course, my nieces pop up. And they're sending me the most horrific videos. And they're like, ask her about this. I'm like, I'm not going to do that. Mark the Spider Guy goes, Jade's Jungles. Yes. Not June. For some reason, for a brief moment, I thought it was June's Jungle. I'm like, that didn't sound right. So I had to look it up. Okay. Question. Are you okay for going into a next segue with a little bit of music?
Yeah, of course.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got our next song coming up. We have a little bit of an unknown list tonight. I was going to listen to it, but like I said, we have a little bit of a friendly emergency I needed to go take care of, and I didn't have a chance to look over the list beforehand. So our next song coming up is Building Chemistry by Cody Francis.
You make me nervous. I think I might be hooked on you. All of the things you said to me, it seems like you like me too. We can take it slow, make sure we do this right. Canceled all my plans to be with you tonight. So just sit with me, talking to the night until the morning, building chemistry. I don't think I ever wanna go, come closer next to me. Trying to find another way to say this, but I think we were meant to be. You make me anxious. I think I might be stuck on you. I love the things you did for me, it seems like you're dropping clues. There's no need to rush, so let's just take our time. Dropping everything, 'cause you're stuck on my mind. So just sit with me, talking to the night until the morning, building chemistry. I don't think I ever wanna go, come closer next to me. Trying to find another way to say this, but I think mystery. I don't think we were meant to be. Oh, we were meant to be. Oh, we were meant to be. Oh, we were meant to be. So just sit with me, talking through the night until the morning, building chemistry. I don't think I ever wanna go, come closer next to me. Trying to find another way to say this, but I think you were meant to be with me, talking to the night until the morning, building chemistry. I don't think I ever wanna go, come closer next to me. Trying to find another way to say this, but I think we were meant to be.
we're back, ladies and gentlemen. I just heard a little bit of the what do you call it? The feedback, and I wasn't too excited about it. But good news is I am recording this, so I will have it edited, so the music will sound spot on, as well as a lot of the other stuff. So yeah, I can optimize now. It takes a little bit, but I can optimize and edit now. Are you excited? Are you excited, Scott? I am.
Yeah. Can you auto tune my voice?
I'm not auto-tuning your voice. No. I will not make you sound like what is that professor off of the day off, somebody's day off from school.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
It's like 80s. It was like an 80s mute. Beth Randall. Oh, we have a new person in. Beth, welcome to the Talking Corner. That was my old name. Welcome to the company. Welcome to the Exotics Radio Podcast. I need to quit. I need coffee. Somebody got any coffee in here?
I can make you one, but it'll be a bit cold by the time it gets to you.
It's a problem of living in Sweden and you living in the UK. Oh my goodness. Well, Beth, if you're new to the show, hold on a second. Beth is new to the show, so welcome to the Coffee Pants Wednesday open mic. This is a place where we mix a little bit of podcasting and music and talk about invert care as well as exotic pet care in general. So kick back, relax. If you got questions, feel free to put it in the chat. And yeah, that's what we do here. So where were we? Oh yeah, me needing coffee because I keep making speech blunders. Oh my gosh. This is what happens when I go and, I had a family member who needed to be picked up and needed a quick ride. So I went and picked them up and I gave them a quick ride. And so I was thinking, I have time to rushed here, nothing. Didn't have any time to do anything. And and now I'm trying to get my marbles back. So give me a little bit and I'll be, back to normal, I guess, if you want to call it like that. Oh, so question, did you get the picture I sent you?
Not yet. I will have a look now.
Go take a look because I want to say that it's not really a sponsorship, but I did want to give this store a shout out because they did help me out. Now there's a store near me called Tempo. So if you want to support the Tempo chain, if you're in Sweden by for some chance or just living in Sweden, go check out Tempo. What they're doing, what this particular little store is doing in the Brinas shopping center is what they're doing is giving anybody who asks for a container for an enclosure, they will give a candy enclosure for free. Now, the candy enclosure, as Scott's going to look at, they're actually absolutely perfect for juveniles. They're perfect for juveniles. They're perfect sizes, they're perfect depths, they're easy for the tarantula to grow in. And so if you go by one of the stores and ask, now, mind you, it has to be this particular store in the Brinas shopping center near Brinas Grillen. You can go and get a little free container, a little candy container for your basically your juvenile for free.
Yeah,
just poke holes in it, set it up, and they actually look absolutely stunning. I'm not complaining whatsoever. They're greatly sealed. And of course, they're free. You can't get past that. You can't get over the fact that they're free and it's COVID. So, but they are saying it's just one per request, and they're not going to just pass them out willy nilly. Mainly because they do have other stores that come in and want those kind of containers. So, but anybody that says I sent you, Crack sent you, you can go walk into the store and get basically a free enclosure. Can't beat that. And I think they're perfect for actual dwarf species as well.
So, yeah, something like a Bruno peas or like a pumpkin patch even would be quite cool in that, because for anyone in the UK wondering for like a visual reference, if you've ever been to like a market or a car boot stall and there's the guy that does the pick and mix, it's the big square boxes of Haribo pick and mix. So like your big plastic boxes of Star Mix. So they're a perfect size.
I just don't know what to say that, but I'll just have to go with it. I don't live there. Beth Randall says Thank you. Beth, if you like, tell us where you're from, or if you've got a YouTube channel, we'd be more than happy to give you a shout out. That's kind of what we do here. We share our channels. We help each other out best we can. And also, if you've got any pets, feel free to let us know what kind of pet you own. And of course, like I said, this is more of a podcast mixed with music. So it's a radio podcast, just covering exotic animal care. Now, I'm going to ask the taboo question. Scott, I'm going to ask you a question. I know you may or may not have the answer.
Okay.
What fuzzy exotic pet would you have if you could have one, or if you want one, or if you do have one?
Fuzzy exotic pet. Are we talking mammal?
It could be a mammal, or it could be, if I don't think there's any fuzzy amphibians, but you get my point. It could even be a bird if you'd like that.
It's an interesting one. I've always liked chinchillas because I think they're just really cute and you can't get them wet, so they're kind of like gremlins. You know, I'd have to call it Gizmo because it's got such specific care requirements. So I think, yeah, that would be it. Just a chinchilla called Gizmo.
So that's your dream. That's your dream fuzzy pet. Okay, I'll just have to think about that. Now, do you own any fish?
I have 3 fish tanks and a pond. So I would say yes.
Okay. All right. Well, that was an extent of my my exotic pet keeping questions for the evening. Good night, everybody.
An interesting one that we have is we've got a sturgeon in the pond outside. It's only a baby at the moment, and the pond will need to be excavated bigger as it grows and that. But it's quite impressive.
I was going to say, sturgeons are extremely expensive and rare. You can't have them in Sweden. You cannot own a sturgeon.
Is that an invasive move, or is it?
It's because it's on the critically endangered list.
Okay.
You need a special care. So basically, you need the government to come in and give you a license, and for them to do that, you need to pay a lot of money, and I mean a lot of money. Beth Randall says they're from the Black Country. Hoogies are their thing. Scott's a friend of her. Scott's a friend of hers. Hence the fact why she's here. Thanks for having. Well, you're very, very welcome. And Scott is awesome.
Thank you.
No, which Scott? What's Scott? Is she talking about you?
Yeah, she's talking about me. We're good friends.
So you know who Beth was. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm the only one left in the dark. I'm no longer loved. I'm gonna go.
I'm quite fortunate as well because Beth's actually looking to rehome a couple of millipedes she owns. So I'm getting a what's it called? Desert gold, which is Orthoporus No, it's a US desert species of millipede. And I'm also getting an ivory. So I'm going to put the ivory in with my sun beetles to have a bit of a communal. As it's the only one, I think that will be quite interesting. And I do have millipede substrate in there, so it's all set up for a millipede anyway. And the Desert Gold is going to be an experimental cleanup crew for the hognose. But obviously, if I'm uncomfortable with how things pan out in the early days, I will get containers and set them up fully on their own. But it's a bit of a experiment on my part. Should be quite good.
Wow, that's nice. Oh, speaking of rehouses and remodeling, I'm remodeling my room. My whole art and tarantula room is going to be remodeled over the next 4 weeks. So I will give you guys a heads up if I cannot make a certain day. Mainly because I will be having contractors coming in. I'm going to be installing one of the largest closet areas basically into the wall. So it can't move, it can't tip. for me to drill into my walls and to actually do any massive remodeling like that, I actually need a licensed contractor to come in and do it, which is no really big deal. My brother is actually paying for everything. There's a certain deal I had to make. I kind of had to sell myself to the devil. I have to keep the house clean perfectly. I had to put in between 4 to 6 hours a day cleaning the house. He basically just wants a freaking maid across the board until I start bringing money in through the podcast and through my tarantula business, which I've discussed with you earlier.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing is I'm basically preparing for the tarantula business. And I might end up having to do individual sales for a little while, which I'm not too comfortable about doing. I want to get my license, but hey, money's money, and I'm kind of running out of space. These animals are getting kind of big, so I don't plan on keeping them forever.
Yeah, when you get your welcome pack and that sorted, and you've got sort of templates and that, I'd love to see some of the birth certificates and that you was talking about.
Oh
So I
yeah,
think
no.
that'd be absolutely amazing.
I don't think I think that show got lost in editing because I don't think I've published it yet. If I have, I've done it. I haven't done it on YouTube. I have to go back and look. Beth Randall says, I'm basically around the corner from Mary Hill Shopping Center. So we're pretty close. Oh, well, that's nice. Stefan's talking about, oh, they're talking to each other. I thought she was talking about you for a second. And I apologize. I am getting over my cold. But anyways, what was I saying? Oh, the whole business idea. For those who don't know, I'm starting a tarantula selling business this summer. And it's basically, when you see an unboxing video, usually the unboxing and getting the tarantula and then the adventure ends. And I feel like something's actually missing. And I think getting packages can be highly improved. So what I'm doing is I'm actually doing my version of improving it. So you will get a birth certificate. You will get first baby pics. Unfortunately, I've yet to find a crap, what do you call it? The Polaroid. I want to find an old Polaroid camera that still takes pictures. They do have them on the market. They're extremely painfully expensive, and getting the film for the pictures are painfully expensive. So I might have to go a different route. Right now, until I get it, you're going to have to just come online. You're going to have to get your pictures there and print them out. And so you get your first baby pics. You get basically a blue, pink, or yellow ribbon telling you which sex it is. Kyle Million is actually in the house. Welcome, Kyle. It's good to see you again. And from there, you also get a little care sheet that says this is the animal, how to take care of the animal that you've gotten. This is just to help. You can study all you want for your tarantulas, and you can have like a gazillion tarantulas if you want to think about it like that. But you're always going to forget a small detail. You're always going to forget it. So it's always nice to have a nice, cute little reminder. And what if you've never had that kind of tarantula before? It would be nice to know that, oh, I looked this up already and I've seen this already. Oh, I didn't know this and this. So it'll help kind of eliminate a lot of, and where I'm going to get my facts from is from Tom Moran. I'm just going to straight, he knows his shit. Let's just put it that way. He knows his thing. So, I'm going to get my resources from Tom Moran. Moran is how you pronounce his name. But anyways, everybody knows who he is, and he's extremely reliable. So, if you pick one source of information, then you know where to go. And then on top of that, if you are getting a sub-adult or an adult, you also get an adoption paper, an official adoption paper. Most people go, well, there's an official adoption. It's technically not really an adoption, but it's just really fun to say, hey, now you've got this little family member in your family, and you got it on this date in this condition. So it'll help you with your own records. It'll help you with the age, and you get your first baby pic as well. So say I've had this tarantula all the way up to the point of being a sub-adult, then you know exactly when I got it. Whether it was born here in my place, or if I acquired it from some other place, then you also know how long I've had it. You also know exactly what condition it was when I got it, or what condition it was when I separated the they're not really slings, but they're like the little instars before I started spreading, separating them, but that way.
Yeah.
And so you know exactly from step by step exactly. So if it turns out to be a boy, you can pretty much down to the date know exactly what to look for, when to look for it. You know exactly if it's a female, how old she is. So that it'll cut out a lot of the wondering and going, well, they're about this age. And I don't like the abouts. I like knowing exactly. Now this is just me, because I'm a weirdo. I like to know more about. I like to know all of the facts about my tarantulas. I know that sounds so weird. So I want to pass that kind of knowledge to the people who are getting the tarantulas from my place. And then eventually, if I get big enough, I want to open a tarantula boutique, and so that'll be a whole different story once I get to that point. But for right now, I just want to have bluebonnet tarantulas on the map and give it a little bit of a push. And yeah, no, I will be giving and not giving away, but giving care packages, because I want people to actually honestly review so I can improve my business before I do this big launch here in Sweden kind of thing. So that's kind of my thing. Ellie Bug Baby says, I perfume some more than others though. Huh? I apparently I walked into the wrong conversation. Stefan says, do you have keeper cards, Cracks? Yes, I do. I do support them. I do love keeper cards, but you got to remember, not everybody can afford them. To get them in Sweden, they're pretty expensive, especially when it comes to the shipping. But I do love them. I absolutely got the first deck. I was a big supporter, one of the first supporters that came on when it came up on Kickstarter. I have the little sticker. I can even post it on Instagram. No.
Yeah.
Prefer. Okay, so hold on a second. What was it? What did she say? Oh, I prefer more than others. Okay. Now I understand the context. Some teas more than others. Exactly. And Ellie, that's great. And that's what I mean. And unfortunately, I feel really bad selling old worlds. Maybe I'll eventually move into selling more old worlds, but I think I'm going to refrain, mainly because here in Sweden there's a lot of misconception. Some people think it's kind of cute to have this what you call it, a very warm, very hot firecracker of a tarantula that can have potential side effects if you ever decide to get bit.
Spicy boys.
Exactly. Well, the thing is, it drives me nuts because you see these people and they want to buy a tarantula, and it's like, I have to clench my teeth because I'm like, have you ever owned a tarantula? No. Okay.
There's a lot of misinformation as well.
Exactly, and
everyone thinks a tarantula is just a bee sting, but it's the same with scorpions, etc. You can't categorize an entire order of animals. I believe it's an order. I don't know much taxonomy, so I don't know if that's the right term, but this whole group of arachnids, you can't say that all of them are going to be that insignificant, not very painful bite that goes away after an hour or two, because I know for a fact, after just watching videos and that and doing research myself, if you get bit by a regalis or a escal or a metallica or ornata, all of those, you are experiencing auditory, you're experiencing visual, even to the point some people say that they hallucinate, and it's incredible that you're then saying that just because it's a tarantula, it's not going to hurt you. And I just think there needs to be so much more information. And if anyone's going to put out the right information, it'll be you with your prospective company, because you will vet and make sure that people are making an informed decision before they go away. Whereas other people that do like mystery boxes, etc., will chuck an OBT in and hope for the best for the person that's getting it, and they don't really put in the I don't know what the term is. It's like the level of care to actually make sure that that person's ready.
Oh, absolutely. But the thing is, let me get back to what I was saying. You can, as I think it was Mark. Oh, hold on 1 second. Yeah, Mark, the spider guy says, do your research before you own a tea. We all know that. But do you understand that? Let's just take the area that I live in. I get so many questions. Which tarantula do you think would be great for my son? My son has asthma, or my daughter. We can go either way. But like recently, it was a son. My son has asthma. What kind of tarantula do you think would be great for my son? How old is your son? Let's start off with how old and who is doing the care of the tarantula. Let's ask those two very important questions. Well, her son was 8 years old. Okay. All right. And then and I go, oh, so it's the parents going to be taking care of the tarantula. Oh, no, that would have to be my husband. I was like, well, have you cleared this off with your husband? No. I cannot rightfully recommend a tarantula until you think this through.
Yeah.
I go, listen, look, I'm going to be frank. I don't want to be rude, but I'm going to be frank with you. Tarantulas are come in wide variety. There's just over 900 different known species. They all have various different effects when it comes to a bite. So worst case scenario, your son has an allergic reaction. Do you understand the effects that's going to happen? There's no related deaths there are no confirmed deaths due to a tarantula bite, but there are recorded and have been recorded allergic reactions. I've been trying to translate from Swedish to English, sorry. So I go, look, listen, your son can't handle this animal. Tarantulas are not made to be handled. Think of them as beautiful pieces of art that you're putting on the shelf. They're a great pet if you are restricted on money, and they're a great pet if since your son has asthma. I go, I'm not trying to scare you away, but you need to do your research before you do anything else. And so I gave her lots of places to go check out. I gave her various people to go check out and go read. And of course, now she's gotten back to me just this morning and said, hey, look, thank you, but maybe a tarantula is not going to be what we're looking for in a pet. I would prefer to hear that than somebody getting a tarantula and then trying to sell it back to me or give it back to me. I can't do that. And that's why I'm kind of really hesitant with old worlds, because mainly because I know the defensive level. Now there's two different types of tarantulas. So they're aggressive tarantulas, which are mostly my new world. But that's my collection. And defensive, which is my old worlds, and they're the run and hide first. Hilarious. So yes, as people were saying, please do your research, but you will be so surprised when you get into trying to sell tarantulas. You will be absolutely blown away how many people just immediately think they can get a tarantula without doing any research. It's like, okay, that was my rant for the day. I apologize.
No, I fully agree with you. It's like people that walk into a pet shop, get a snake, and then ask, how do I take care of it? You've gone and brought the animal, brought it home, and you've not even got a viv to put it in. And you're coming onto Facebook and asking me how you should take care of your new pet. And that's just mind-blowing, because, it just boggles the mind that some people can be like that.
Now, Ellie was saying that she's had baboons and super fast tree spiders in the mystery boxes and never knew anything about them, and then shit herself about after rehousing. Yeah, Ellie, I feel you. That's what happened with me and my S-cow. And then I still didn't realize how potent and dangerous they were until after I thought he had escaped. I thought Telly had escaped. and then I was like, okay, what's going on? And then I started thinking, are my cats going to be okay? And then, of course, I talked to the vet and stuff, and the vet's like, oh, absolutely, your cat's going to be fine. The payload on a tarantula that small would never be able to really hurt your cat. It's when they're bigger. And I was like, oh,
It'd be so heartbreaking. Just walk into the room and then you find the tarantula with a cat. Like, I couldn't even imagine that.
For one, I would be shitting bricks, and then number two, I'd be crying my eyes out if anything happened to either one of them. So let's put that out right there. That's why
like me with my reptiles. I won't, or I'll actively advise anyone I'm living with to not get cats, because cats are born to kill. They see a snake or whatever, they will go and try and kill, rather than a dog which will sniff it, wag its tail, walk off half the time. So cats and reptiles are something that needs to be very, very carefully understood and assessed, because so many people will interact their pets as if they're all just going to be this happy family, and it's something a lot of people don't consider. They think they want this and they want this, but how are they going to interact with each other?
Oh, I'm gonna pop quiz. Do you know who the two most deadliest animals in the world are?
The cat and the human.
Okay. Technically, you're right. I wasn't thinking human in that form. So take away the human equation, because humans are the most deadliest. But take away the human form. What is the second most? What are the animal wise? What are the two most deadliest animals?
Okay, so we know we've got a cat. I'm gonna go for the mole.
The mosquito. The mosquito kills more people. The mosquito kills millions and millions a year. But you're right.
I didn't even think of bugs, to be fair. I didn't even think of mosquitoes.
Yeah. The female mosquito is the most deadliest animal in the world. And comes second is the house cat. Believe it or not, the house cat is pretty nasty when it comes to being the perfect killing machine. Now, there is a joke, people jokingly say, God created this beautiful, perfect killing machine and then made it like so many, probably about 4 kilos, and decided to go, there you go. It's soft and cuddly.
They're nature's version of just schizophrenic people. All of a sudden, they're like scratching your face off.
Let's see. We've got a couple of comments about the deadliest animals, and then we'll move into another song. I kind of want to keep up the music theme for today. I've had such a bad day, and I'll explain more in Instagram after the show. But we've got Beth Randall, who says, although I've seen dogs catch and eat flies and spiders, Beth also asked the hippo. Hippo is extremely deadly, but it's actually one of the most deadliest in Africa. But believe it or not, the mosquito surpasses them by the millions. So Mark, the spider guy, says the platypus. Platypus is pretty deadly. Doesn't kill humans so much, but is pretty deadly. Ellie Bug Baby says, my cats are very interested in my other animals, but I'm very cautious about mixing them. Ellie, that's one of the reasons why I'm setting up my room and having it remodeled, is because I want my cats to be able to come into my art studio like they used to. Ever since I started getting tarantulas and getting spiders again, I've kind of booted them out, and it's not fair to the cat. I'm in my room doing art and trying to edit and trying to do other things, and I'm in my room for about between 6 to 8 hours. So they only get to see me for a very, very short period of time. And so I want to reverse that. I want them here in my room with me. And then let's see. Mark, the spider guy, says Ellie's cats are nuts. I've seen them in the background. They're cute. They're just like they're special balls of fur with a lot of extra energy. So if that's what you call crazy, then yeah, that's
They're
fine.
absolutely brilliant.
They're actually really good, to be honest. They've not seen mine. Oh my goodness. So we're going to go into our next song. Is there anything you want to say before we jump in?
Just thank you for everyone in the chat. It's really great to have you here, and we do really appreciate it.
I really appreciate you're here. You're here finally. You have no idea how excited I'm here to have you here. So we've got a couple of songs lined up. Again, I don't know if these are any good or not. Would You Stay by Mind Me and Lejeune.
Would you stay till the morning light? Or would you follow me? Or would you let it be? If I leave tonight, we could do this right. We'll find the remedy. Or would you stay with me now till the morning light? Before you turn away, I just want you to know that I didn't throw your stuff away. Before you make up your mind that I'm nowhere to find, I'm standing right here. I know that I told you we're over, I swear that I'm sober, just listen, I miss you. And I know that I said all these things, but now when you're with her, I can see that you miss me. Would you stay till the morning light? Or would you follow me? Or would you let it be? If I leave tonight, we could do this right. We'll find the remedy. Or would you stay with me now till the morning light? Till the morning light. Till the morning light. Till the morning light, yeah. Till the morning light. Till the morning light. Till the morning light, yeah. Maybe I'm just too weak. Maybe I'm just afraid of being alone. Well, I don't care, 'cause right now I feel the love that we said we would burn. Oh, I know that you feel it too. I know that I told you we're over, I swear that I'm sober, just listen, I miss you. And I know that I said all these things, but now when you're with her, I can see that you miss me. Would you stay till the morning light? Or would you follow me? Or would you let it be? If I leave tonight, we could do this right. We'll find the remedy. Or would you stay with me now till the morning light? Stay till the morning light. Or would you follow me? Or would you let it be? If I leave tonight, we could do this right. We'll find the remedy. Or would you stay with me now till the morning light? Would you stay till the morning light? Or would you follow me? Or would you let it be? If I leave tonight, we could do this right. We'll find the remedy. Or would you stay with me now till the morning light? Till the morning light. Till the morning light. Till the morning light, yeah. Till the morning light. Till the morning light. Till the morning light, yeah. I know that I told you we're over, I swear that I'm sober, just listen, I miss you. And I know that I said all these things, but now when you're with her, I can see that you miss me.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for being here. I am Cracks, your host. You're on Exotics Radio Podcast, the best place for chit chat with Scott's Animal Adventures and the audience about any and all animal care and care needs. Now, I just wanted to say I did take a peek into the likes versus the dislikes. I finally got a dislike. I'm hated. I'm like, oh my gosh. Now, I wanted to remind people, remember that the quality of the music and all that will be taken care of in the edited version, so I apologize if it's not quite up to snuff. I actually was hearing some of the distorted music earlier, and I'm like, it's so bad. you guys will understand what I mean when actually I get done doing the editing and actually post up. So there will be a playlist created a little bit later. One will be the raws, which is the live, so you come here for the live, and then one will be the edited version where you actually hear the music edited. I gotta step up my game. I gotta make those sales. Gotta promote my business out there.
That is the
Anyways.
way.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say quality and editing is no joke when it comes to YouTube. That is one thing that I've been slacking and lacking so badly. So, Scott, feel free to call me a slacker.
You're doing all right. I'll give you credit. You're doing better than most.
No,
The fact that you're looking into it and the fact that you're doing the editing goes above and beyond where other people will just put it out live and then put it on their channel and not really think about it. So it just shows the kind of creator you are, and it really goes in your favor as a content creator and as a name for yourself.
yeah. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what you guys think, because I want you guys to listen to the edited version, and let me know. And you have to be honest. Give me the honesty. Throw your worst at me. Roast me if you have to. Unless it makes you feel better for the day, then I'm not a stepping stool. I'm just gonna say that right now. But asking the internet to roast you is I'm interested to hear what people have to say. But long story short, again, I will be working on the quality and getting it out there, because I really want people to start subscribing and for the quality content, not just for the lives, because the lives are fun. They're great. But I just generally don't put out enough, and I need to put out more videos, so I need you to come on more often. And we'll get to it. So anyways, what were we talking about? Oh, pet care questions and everything else. Oh, my goodness. No, question. You did say you were talking about chinchillas. And of course, chinchillas, you're not allowed to get them wet. So there are dust baths out there, and it's really fine dust, really, and you can't stop petting them. They're absolutely gorgeous. But one thing I've noticed that when you see people with chinchillas, they never give them big enough enclosures. They never give them enough space. So are you planning on, like, if you do get one, would you like donate a room to one, or what would you do?
So my point of view would be to have maybe 6 foot by 6 foot if I had the space, and have a somewhat bioactive setup in the terms of having a very deep layer of substrate. So if they choose to, they can dig in, because I know that in the wild sometimes they do like to have a dig and sort of get involved like that, as well as having a bit of rock formation and trying to really kind of look at where they live, which is obviously in South America, and they live at, I believe, quite high elevations. So the kind of terrain you'd be looking at would be quite rocky, quite large format. So I'd be looking at slates and stuff like that, and really just going all out, the same as what I would do with my reptiles. But I can honestly say I don't think I'll ever own one. And I've not seen them available for quite a while in the UK, at least locally.
Yeah, no, I have to agree with that. Even when it comes to my tarantulas, finding a vet is key. I have one that lives 2 hours away from me, actually, and I've made that trek a couple of times. I don't even want to go into it, but yeah, no, I think having a veterinarian for your pet needs is key. What blows my mind is when people. I'm not talking about tarantula owners, because tarantula veterinarians are, a veterinarian to look after your tarantulas is very few and far between. But I am talking about snakes. I am talking about parrots. I'm talking about just the normal animals that you would not normally find. I'm not talking about your cat and dog or equestrian. I'm talking about the pet that I'm talking about the actual real exotic. Well, not real exotic. I'm just digging my own grave at this point. But you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, you specialised.
It's specialized. Thank you. That's a good word to put it. Thank you. See, your vocabulary is much wider than mine. So, you know, again, finding a vet for your particular pet is a key. Is utmost key. You cannot get around it. It drives me nuts when people are talking about, well, you know, they were sick, and I'm like, did you take them to a vet? And then you would always hear, well, the vet is so far away because there's nothing near here. And I'm like, then why did you get the animal in the first place? I could go on all night on that kind of a rant because I've seen it happen more than I would like in my life. You know, as I said, I worked at the zoo for a bit, and we saw that happen more than what we should ever. And it's basically, and people are not coming to us to ask us where the vet is. They're actually going to us to drop off the animal, to abandon the animal because they can't take care of it. And it's like, we're a zoo. We're not a shelter. And then what people would normally do on the flip side was dump them at the shelters, and then the shelters are contacting us trying to figure out where do they go to take care of this animal, because then they're not specialized. And I can't blame the shelters because they're focused on the animals at hand. Now, what I always thought was cute was, you know, you always find that one arachnid lover. And how you know that is because they're the ones that when all the tarantulas and all of the weird pets, and I'm putting up quotation marks, come in, they're the ones that be like, I'm taking them home.
Yeah, or they'll be going, oh, they're so cute, and you're there like, it's horrible.
No, it was so funny because I heard the story. Now, this, mind you, this is secondhand knowledge. This is just this didn't happen to me. Now, there was one lady at a shelter. It was a cat shelter, and apparently the gentleman had passed away, and they had left all of their animals. So people were claiming their animals and bringing them back to the quote unquote shelter. Well, it's not quote unquote shelter. It is an actual shelter, but it's basically where cats go to retire. You know, and they basically found a forever home with the other cats. And the you know, if you want an older cat, you would go to this lady. And she goes, her son actually had to come and help her, and he was so thrilled. He apparently begged her and begged her and begged her to be able to take the animals home, and of course she had to fill out paperwork and stuff like that. And apparently this gentleman had done was build a very large a knoll enclosure. And so what the son had done is asked the family permission, but they had done it. They had actually removed the whole enclosure off the wall because apparently the whole thing was mounted and it was just massive. And so what they did was they disassembled it. And he got to take all of the animals home. They reassembled it at his place. And of course he was just the happiest person. I was like, yeah, see that, like I always say, you always know that one person that takes home all of the strange and odd animals, and you'll never see them in the shelters, almost never, because somebody knows somebody, and they always. Now here in Sweden, like I said, we do have a gentleman who takes in reptilian rescues, and his daughter works at a pet store, and his daughter and I are friends, and it's so interesting because he's overfilled, he's overran, and then unfortunately you cannot sell them, you cannot rehouse them, especially since they're venomous. So it's not like he can actually take the animals away. Oh, I'm sorry, Hutker. No, Hutker. I just want to say thank you, Hutker. Hutker is one of the few people that had come on and actually let Scott know. Scott inverts and said hello, Scott, in Swedish. Actually, he's one of my longtime friend of mine and listener of mine here in Sweden as well. And so, Hutker, do your diligence, like and subscribe to everybody you see. I'm so gonna get it on game night. But anyways, yeah, like I said, the snake rescue is just overpopulated. Now, my question for you, since you're into the reptilian part as well as the invert part, now with a little bit more seriousness to the conversation, Do you have specialized shelters in the UK or where you live, around where you live?
As far as I know, you have pet shops that will take in rescues. So they'll take an animal and that, and they might give a small amount or whatever for it. But the other side of it, as far as I know, are independent groups that will basically kit out their house to take in reptiles, get them up to health, and send them on. I don't know if there are any like chains, but I think there are independent rescues. All of my reptiles have come from shops. I've not dealt with any rescues per se, but yeah, I believe that's how it's done here. So essentially, you start up your rescue in quotation marks. You get a few animals in, get them up to health with the vet, etc., and then turn them around and sell them on to new people, or keep them on if they're a bit more intensive with their care. But I don't believe there's like a government ran side to it.
Oh, okay. The reason why is because I know you guys have to have specialty in DWAs, so I imagine pet stores would know somebody that has a DWA, so they can handle an animal that's a little on the hot side.
I believe a lot of DWA is done privately because not a lot of pet stores will have the license to keep venomous snakes in display of the public.
So what would
I
happen?
know
So my question is, what would happen if a DWA snake was taken away?
confiscated.
Thank you, confiscated, and what would happen to that animal? Would the government destroy the animal, or would they actually reach out to other DWA?
It's beyond my knowledge, but I believe in most cases like that they would destroy the animal. Even similar with non-DWA large constrictors, etc. I believe that in terms of reptiles, quite a few animals would have minimal effort put into them getting into a new home. It's not something that I really have knowledge on, so really do take my information with a grain of salt on this. But from what I have heard, I do believe that venomous animals get put down over trying to find them a new home responsibly. It just saves a lot of risk and a lot of effort trying to get them back into an experienced keeper's hands.
That burns me a little bit, because in Sweden we don't do that. We have the biggest hearts when it comes to animals. Well, I think you're talking to a group of people whose ancestry lived with actual animals to keep them from freezing to death. If you notice in a lot of our older houses, you'll notice there's like the barn below where people used to live. Now, mind you, that actually got moved over a little bit as time progressed, but like in the early Viking days, it actually you slept in the same building with the animals, so everybody stayed warm. It was energy efficient, and nobody froze to death, and you could actually check on the animals' welfare throughout the year. To get off a little bit off topic a little bit, we have Scott's invert in the house. So Scott, now I told you earlier, if you were going to come over, you're going to have to come on, and then you have to promote your 2000K giveaway. Your after dinner cracks. Thank you. Okay, so after dinner, after Scott eats, which kind of makes me wonder, when does he never eat, or when does he stop eating? That's a good question. Because even if you notice, half his lives are almost always he's eating something. Tara always gives him something to eat, so it's he always has food in his hand. I'm just poking at you, Scott. But yeah, no, I think like I said, you're talking to a group of people who lived with their animals pretty much. So I think we've got a little bit bigger heart in that way. But also we have a lot of restrictive laws. We have one of the most restrictive laws in any of the EU countries, mainly on animal rights and animal welfare. So, I mean, like I said, we can't have some of our aquariums we're not allowed to have. We're not allowed to have globe. We're supposed to only have squares because then it gives the animal ability to hide a little bit better. Yeah, no, we just there's so much there's small details that's kind of annoying, but we do have them. Scott's invert says, Ellie, my fat Buddha belly will send you some positive feedback or positive back vibes. Oh, grief. Scott also admitted he never stops eating, and you wonder why I've got a belly. I don't wonder. I know it's a food baby. It's due next month. Just saying, I wish Tara already. Congratulations. Oh, I'm gonna get it when if he jumps on. I'm so getting it. Of course, I asked for it. It's not like I don't. It's not like I don't expect it. So we're gonna move on to our next song, and then we'll get back into animal welfare and how the UK handles the DWA animals that are claimed after court. So we'll get back to that. Oh, we got so much music going on, and I don't even know how half of it listens. So our next one is called Goals by Russ Sprigg. I think that's how you pronounce the name.
One look and I breathe. One touch feels skin deep. A picture perfect, underserving. Ooh, ooh, everything will probably go in and out, one thought, and we break. Airborne as we face misconceptions, picture perfect, a balanced plan, and some pretend. In and out. Get me through all the layers of you. Get me through. In and out.
And welcome back. I'm so happy everybody's here with us now. I don't know exactly what to say, but other than that, I see that Scott has temporarily just jumped off, which is okay. That means we can move into our next song until he gets back. By the way, thank you everybody for being here. I wanted to give a special shout out to Scott Inverts, who's going to be back a little bit later since he had to step away for dinner. We also have Ellie's Bug Babies. She's hanging out with us. her and her crazy kitties. What can I say? She's a crazy cat lady with a bunch of tarantulas and some reptiles and amphibians. Got to give her a lot of love. Send her a lot of love. We got Mark the Spider Guy, our great invert spider guy. Wonderful video. Basically, I think it was yesterday that you released that. So Scott Animal just says he's trying to rejoin. Scott, if you look up at the pinned comment, it will have that. If not, then I will just do this. I forgot I could just do this. Hold on. Here you go. There you go. Yes. Now you'll be coming back. But while you do that, I'm going to play our next song coming up, which is Beach Memories. And we're back. That was, oh my gosh, Beach Memories by Some Wave. I lost it there. I'm horrible tonight. I'm everywhere. I don't even know what's going on. What's going on, Scott?
Just sitting here in my comfy pants, listening to you and getting involved in this lovely podcast. You're doing great. You're too hard on yourself sometimes.
I don't
You
think
know,
I don't think so. I strive for perfection.
and it will come. It's just time and repeating the process until you are fully installed in it. You know, and when you've had a week like we've both had, from the sounds of it, it's really not surprising that it's a little bit sort of hard to get the flow today. So honestly, you're doing great, and you know, we're gonna smash this.
I hope I do. I hope I do. Honestly, I'm really I can't. What can I say? I really love doing this, and I want more people to enjoy as much as I do, because I want more people to know what you know. I want more people to know what Scott knows, Ellie knows, Mark knows. I just really want to spread. We have such a wonderful community, and I really want to share the knowledge and more people to get into it, as well as come together for the music, come together for the relaxed environment, and actually be able to listen, even if you're not interested in the animal we're talking about, or the care, or maybe even the subject, the political subject, because when you're talking about exotic pets, that can get very political very quick. So like I said, if you're not into any of those, at least you're here for the relaxed environment and the music. And I cannot stress this enough. I know how blessed I am. I realize how much how thankful I am for you guys. Mainly because I've been into the other podcasting site, and yeah, it was a decent channel. It was gaining speed. No help to Podbean for being the way that they were at the time. But it got ugly really quick. If you weren't, believing a certain way, you weren't doing this a certain way, it got really ugly really quick. Mainly because, the people there weren't really into the animals. They were more into the live aspect. And I want to focus more on the animal care. So I've surrounded myself with people who are absolutely wonderful, and who actually want to learn new things about the subject that they actually care about. And I think that's so much easier than trying to. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it alone right there. I'm just going to drop it and walk away. Burn the subject. We're good. Oh my god. So how has your day been? Other than having glass explode on you, getting cut, getting drenched with, you call that mouse water?
Yeah. So when you defrost a mouse and you put it in the water, it was literally as I was about to dispose of that. So it was really terrible. But other than that, my day's been good. The weather was terrible this morning, but luckily by about 3 o'clock it cleared up. So I met with my friend and we went to like a local park and just chilled for a bit. It was really good to get out and just enjoy some of the weather. Although it wasn't the best, it was still acceptable enough for Britain, so might as well make use of it.
You guys and your bad weather. I don't have that. Knock on wood. I had to knock on some wood there. Because we just normally don't have it, unless I make mention that I miss snow, and then it all of a sudden snows. I totally blame Scott. I blame Scott for everything. Not you. I'm talking about Scott Sanford. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know who Scott Animal Adventures are, he is my co-host on Comfy Pants Wednesday. He likes to share a lot of knowledge. He knows more about the reptilian department than I do. He knows more about the isopod than anybody I've ever met, and just a great hangout friend. I don't know what else to say. It's just I have such a great time when you're on. And also, if you don't know who Scott Inverts is, go check out his channel. We've got Stefan Hartup. Go check out him. Go check out Mark the Spider Guy. Lovely content, especially, and also the lovely Ellie. We cannot forget Ellie. Ellie is so great. And we have now our new listener, Beth. Beth says that they've now found a new regular podcast to listen to. So that makes me very happy to see that.
Thank you so much, Beth.
So let's get back to, you were talking about how they were destroying animals, especially instead of finding actual experienced keepers. That breaks my heart to know that. So we've identified a problem. What could we do to solve the problem?
I think that we need more experienced keepers in zoo settings, because I notice now very, very few zoos in the UK will have venomous animals. And if there's anywhere that you could take a rescue that's not really suitable for rehoming, etc., it would be like your reptile houses and places like that. And if you've got people that are training in venomous, then I think that that could be a brilliant thing, because it gives you more of a draw to come to the zoo and to have a look. And it also makes less of a percentage that would be destroyed, because the percentage of licensed DWA keepers and unlicensed DWA keepers is quite unproportional. And I do believe that there is an abundance of people that would keep without a license purely and simply because of avoiding the taxation from the local council, and having to worry about putting all of the stuff in place to do it properly. So similar to in other areas where you get people that will try and sort of mess around with their electrical boxes and stuff like that. It's that how much can I get away with before I get caught? And unfortunately, I think a lot of the animals that get destroyed are from people that got caught keeping without the experience to keep. And with DWA being such a pain in the bum, it's something that not a lot of people take that full step to do. So you've got very few people that are on a list as licensed and as legitimate people keeping, and you've got authorities that have absolutely no knowledge and no experience of how to deal with these animals. So the safest thing to do in the country's eye is to humanely, and I'd say that with quotation marks, because is it ever really humane when you could prevent a loss of life? But to put them down, and that way you're not risking people having them in their care without the ability to really take care of them, and it's all of that. So unlike in Sweden, where you've got your it's on you kind of policy, over here it's very much no one's here to take care of that animal. So unless you had a proper trained venom unit with rescues, etc., I highly doubt that much would ever change in the UK in terms of the philosophy on that. And unfortunately, it goes into other pets as well. If it's not like a cat or a dog, quite often you could find that the pet is discarded in the situation. And people can correct me if I'm wrong, but I do feel like that happens more often than it should.
So you're saying that basically the main problem at the moment is the DWA and how to acquire the license.
Yeah, so it's all to the council's discretion. It's their discretion of how much they charge, what the restrictions are, what the limit of animals you can keep is, and even to the point that if you're licensed for 4 animals but you want a 5th, sometimes people will push the boat out and get that 5th one and try and keep it, unseen, because it might take down their premium of an extra £50 or something silly like that, And the problem is the council can revoke the decision to allow you to have venomous at any point. So it's not like you're obtaining a license, you're basically paying them to let you have something. So there's not, in essence, much training and much real work that goes into it. It's purely and simply there saying, yes, you can keep this animal, show me your contingency plan, show me this, show me that, and it's up to you to provide it. But how legitimate your information is and your provision is all depends on you, from my understanding.
Oh man, that is actually a huge problem. And what I don't understand is why they're not encouraging better care and stop the micromanaging. I don't understand the whole micromanaging. You're basically paying to be micromanaged. I don't understand that. It should actually encourage more. They should actually say, "Here's your license," like they do for liquor. Here's your license. If you violate any laws, guess what's going to happen? It gets revoked. Because if they had that in Sweden, I wouldn't mind that either. But like I said, in Sweden, basically you take care of your own actions. It's up to you. If you want to get sued, you're going to get sued, and you're going to do jail time if you do anything idiotic that gets somebody hurt or killed. Now, again, we do have, as much as people want to complain about our government, we do have fairly decent laws in that regard. I also want to give Anton a shout out. He also came in while we were having this nice little discussion. So Anton, welcome. But also let's I don't know. So we come up with the problem. We've come up with the solution to the problem. Now, is there a reason why they do the way they do, or why they do the things that they do? Is there a reason why they run it the way they do?
A very old school person once said to me that a lot of the DWA and other moves like that came in with a certain government figure. So their take on it was a certain individual started putting in a lot of bureaucracy and a lot of regulations and a lot of tick the box type situations. And I think it's just come from that. But I definitely think DWA is a good thing to have, but it's not executed the way it should be.
It sounds like it. It sounds like it should be allowed to be like a license, like I said,
Yeah, it
liquor.
should be like a driving license. You do 5,000 hours handling venomous in a controlled situation, and you get a license for that. Either the species, so say if it's Bitis or if it's like squamates or things like that, or you do your 5,000 hours, but you get say 1,000 hours on Heloderma, 1,000 hours on Elapids, 1,000 hours on Crotalus and your rattlesnakes, 1,000 hours on Vipera, and you do it that way. So you've got a basic knowledge of all types of venomous creature, for you then to assess where you want to place yourself at, and have the restriction of you can keep these venomous creatures, but on your license, same as a driving license, you might have class 1, class 2, class 3. So class 1, you can keep 2 venomous animals. Class 2, you can keep 5 venomous animals. Class 3, you can keep 10, or something like that,
Yeah, like I have to agree with that one actually, and it solves a problem. It plugs a problem. But I also think the authorities should also get those with DWAs also more involved, especially if they believe that destroying the animal is better. Now, I'm gonna play. I know I'm a little bit song crazy tonight, and I apologize, but I got some good music going on. But after this next song, I wanted to talk to you about a very controversial video I saw. It's fairly old, but it's still practiced to this day. So I'm going to pick your brain a little bit after this next song. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to stick around, feel free to do so. I've got this great music lined up. I also have a little bit of a conversational conversation. I quit. I'm done. I've made so many speech gaffes tonight. I'm done. I'm just done. Oh my god. Controversial questions if you guys want to listen to that afterwards. So our next song coming up is Sleep. Wait, hold on. Don't Want to Sleep. I thought it was called Sleepless. And welcome back, everybody. That was Don't Want to Sleep by Swift. Oh my gosh, I finally got through that without a speech gaffe. I'm impressed. I'm giving myself a pat on the back. If I could be back in this moment, because right now it's so bad. It's so sore. But ladies and gentlemen, remember, if you like this show, please hit that like button. Please subscribe and tell us what you think. Whether you like it or not, that'd be great too. I honestly, I really want to improve my show, so I can't do that if you don't tell me what they're thinking. So now for the conversation at hand, what I was going to ask you about was there was a video from a while back that a child was being protected by so-called protected by 4 cobras and while it slept, and it's out of India. Now the practice is still today, but but most people do is they take out the venom glands, they defang the snake, which is basically it's a slow, painful starvation death. I do not appreciate it. I do not support it. But in other parts, they do it and they don't defang or devenomize the snake. They believe it. They leave it all up to quote unquote their god. Now, have you seen this video?
I have not, but I've seen similar type of videos. I think I know where you're going with it, and personally, I think that anyone that takes away an animal's natural ability to survive and takes away part of its built-in mechanism for survival, I think is absolutely unacceptable and really quite cruel, because it's like taking away our teeth and expecting us to eat steak. It's not going to work.
No, my question is, what about the ones that don't devenomize and don't defang, and they leave the cobra completely 100% whole, and they're leaving it with their infants? I put you in a very different. This is what I mean. It's controversial. It's a difficult spot because you don't want
to not messing with the animal.
No, the animals.
That's a plus. Like, well done. Yeah. Why are you letting it near your child?
Well, they believe it's a perfect way to protect their child, and the religious deity will take care of the baby while the snake sleeps with it. It just got me thinking. Well, I think it's the animals. It's not just an actual wild animal that they're actually sitting with, putting with their infant. I think it's a snake, and usually I think it's the infant is sleeping most of the time. I think at a certain age that they don't do that. But what they'll do is it's a general practice to leave the infant with the cobra, and then go do their daily things. Not too many creatures are going to mess with a cobra.
Yeah, so in theory, there's a lot less risk than you would think, because naturally the snake isn't going to actively try and kill the infant. It's not on its list of preferred foods. But at the same time, if the infant was to make a fatal mistake like kicking it or something, then the infant's not going to last very long. But in general, I can understand where the culture comes from. I don't think that anyone should be even remotely attempting that, but cobras in general and most venomous snakes are very reactive to stimulus. They're not reactive to just having that instinct to kill, especially something that they can't physically eat. And the only snakes that could ever consume humans would be your there's obviously probably more, but the ones that spring to mind: Burmese python, reticulated python, green anaconda, and possibly a yellow anaconda. But even then, it's only up to a certain age that they would be able to actually have a shot at doing the real damage. So in my mind, I get the culture, and I don't think that it's as stupid as it may seem, but it is obviously nowhere near what any kind of Western teaching would accept.
It's nowhere near safe. I'm giggling. I'm not to make fun of the culture, because the culture is built for a reason. They have they have their beliefs for a reason. They do what they do for a reason. They have a large rat in some of the areas. They have a large rat population, and rats bring disease. So they don't want rats getting around babies, because rats will, if there's enough of them, they will take down an infant. And number one thing that hunts rats would be a cobra. So I mean, I understand. I can 100% get why they do what they do. It's just it was such an odd video that YouTube suggested. I'm like, why am I getting this?
I'm definitely going to look it up.
You're gonna look it up. Go look it up. It's interesting.
It's going to be like the most hardcore generation of children ever.
You think? But I was when I saw it though, I was thinking of Paul. Paul Dunn. What he was saying. Work with these animals. These animals actually can become quite calm, and these are some of the most quickest and deadliest animals. I'm sitting here thinking, you're leaving an infant. So much could go wrong with this scenario.
My South African friend used to sleep in an outhouse barn style thing in the summer, and she used to say that she would have Cape cobras, mambas, all manner of snakes, and that would basically be in this barn and that at any given time. But quite often they would just sleep under the bed, or they would be doing their own thing and never be an issue. And it's really impressive to think about, but I would never want to be in that situation.
I have to agree with that. Ellie says she hates rats. They scare her. I'm not a rat hater. I'm just not a rat. I don't like them though. I'm not super attached to them. Mark Spider Guy says, do we want Ellie? Oh, Stefan goes, milk, 2 sugars, please, Ellie. Oh my gosh, she's getting coffee. I think Ellie just became the sexiest woman. I think. What'd you say?
I love the same as Stefan, please.
Okay, so Ellie just became the sexiest woman in this chat. So by far now, she's the one with the coffee. I'm just gonna throw that out there. It's like it's just like how you're told you're sexy when you're giving somebody a sandwich when they're super hungry. It's same along those lines. Ellie, if you're listening to this, I like chocolate melted down in my coffee with a little bit of whipping cream on top, unflavored whipping cream, so no sugar added. The chocolate gives it enough flavor and sugar to the coffee, so we're good. Oh, Ellie's asking who's going to pay for the delivery. Not me.
It depends. It's going to be first class or a special delivery by 1 p.m.
So, but like I said, have you seen the video yet? Have you looked it up yet?
No, I'm only on this device, so unless I do and come back, I can't do it until after.
Now, for those listening, if one of you can look that up while you're listening, I would love to hear your reaction. I'd love to see what your take on it is, because it was just something so odd that YouTube had actually, suggested. I'm like, what? No, this can't be true. And I hit it, and they're like, and they make a very clear point that the photographer, the filmmaker that was doing this documentary, they didn't know the state of the animals because there was 4 of them. And for cobras being solitary, I don't think that I really don't think that it's what do you call it? I don't think that they were naturally left alone. I think there were modifications made. But I do know that in certain parts of of India, that it is a practice, and they do not mutilate the animal whatsoever. They highly respect the animal, and they raise the animal with their own bare hands. And they, of course, like the one boy who brought home 2 cobras, started raising them, loved them very much. They stuck around, and more and more heads began to come around. So again, it all depends on who you're talking to. And remember, it just takes a small bad batch of people to make the whole thing seem really bad. Now, do I support leaving infants with cobras? Absolutely not. I'm going to make that very clear. It's very unsafe. I'm just trying to figure out why YouTube decided to suggest this.
I would advise baby monitors over cobras.
Mark, Stefan, it's called the video is called 4 Cobras with Infant, or 4 Cobras Protecting Infant. That's what it's called. So I mean, it's very simple a very quick video. So yeah, like I said, I don't think that they were left in their natural state. I think they were modified, and I don't really care for modifications. It's just a very long, painful death for the cobra. Let's see. Ellie is asking, do we do Uber Eats or did the whole Deliveroo? Ellie, just ask for them to pay for a taxi, and at least you'll have a fun adventure. Your cats and your kids might miss you, though.
We'll send you around the country just bringing us coffee.
Wouldn't that be like a dream job? I would love to have that job. Oh, that'd be great, especially if I didn't have to pay for the travel. That would be awesome.
Well, the way that you make your coffee, I definitely want to try one. Because I've not tried coffee with proper chocolate in and that.
Yeah, try proper chocolate. Try cooking chocolate, the milk version, the milk chocolate version. And now the reason why I do cooking chocolate because it melts slower. Stephen Hot Up got one playing, and the kid's got the cobra right up in its face. Yes, and it's playing around with the cobra's tail. Yes. And then she goes right back to sleep because she's an infant. And I know it hit a few nerves on it, but I'm not going to look down on the culture, and I'm not going to, because I mean, I'm not there. I'm not there to put up with what they have to put up with. I'm not there to put up with what they have to fear. So yeah, like I said, I'm not bashing the video whatsoever. It just struck me very, very odd that I got this odd suggestion out of the blue. Because, I'm not a reptilian person. I do most of my research on tarantulas. So I'm just trying to figure out why. And I can think of why. It's because I've subscribed to Dunn and a couple of other reptilian owners. So I'm kind of thinking maybe that's what it is. Mark the Spider Guy says it won't be fun when we all stop the night. It won't be fine when we all stop the night. I'm guessing that's the coffee. But anything you would like to talk about before we start wrapping things up? Because I'm running out a little bit on time, so I can only go for about 2 hours this time around.
Not off the top of my head. I just wanted to wonder how the ICU is going with your 9-legged kid.
My 9-legged baby. Oh my god, I can't believe that. I can't believe I missed it. I cannot believe that it had this leg for so long and I missed it. That's what kills me. I didn't notice it until it got stuck and they couldn't get off of it. And like I said, I cut the limb, the little, not the spider limb. I'm talking about the little stick thingy off of the moss. That's what I cut. And not the spider. Let's make that very, very clear. I did not cut anything on the spider, just the moss. And I put them in a little small ICU unit. Now they're crawling around doing really well with the high moisture. The leg doesn't get stuck on anything anymore. I think it's because it's dragging. I think it's kind of shriveled to a degree. I think it's, kind of Scott sent me the pictures. It's crazy how it's got 9 legs. Yes, it's got one leg that's kind of dragging, and it's dragging kind of underneath it. So I think it's kind of a useless leg. I'm going to keep it in ICU until it molts again.
Yeah, it's definitely
Just
good to see. I hope you don't mind that.
yeah, no, it's they're now most people are like, why does your ICU not have a lot of ventilation? Well, for one, the tarantula is tiny. I'm worried about pinholes. Tiny. And second of all, I like to keep up as much moisture as possible. Now, what I do is I do crack open the lid every day, and I let it breathe for about 5 minutes. Keep them in there. They're chilling. I'm chilling. Allows me to check the tarantula. But when they're that small, it's not so much of a problem, especially when you want the high moisture content. Now, will they live there forever? No. I'm waiting for them to molt. As soon as they molt, they go into a new home. I've already sent a picture to Scott of the new home. It's very deep for digging. It's got the ventilation all the way around and on top of the lid. I mean, it's a nice little home, and it's kind of pinkish red so that they can't really see it. So it's actually really good.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, so I like I said, you can't go wrong with these. I got a whole pack of them. You can get a pack of 3 of them for 10 kroner, which is basically €1, and or $1 in US dollar, depending on where you're at in the US, depending on where you're at in the world. And there you can get them very, very easily. They're like the lids really come off really super easy. Like I said, and they're perfect for a tarantula that size. And so that's what I generally keep them in now. And then all of my juveniles are not really juveniles. They're kind of sling size, but they're almost juvenile size, if that makes sense. They're kind of like the in-betweeny. And they're getting moved into the enclosures that I sent you. I was going to set those up. So I've got a lot of rehouses coming up very, very soon. I've been dying to get going on that. I was going to do a lot of it today, but didn't get around to it, unfortunately. But yeah, there you have it. Ta-da.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that. That's going to be awesome.
Ellie goes, it had a bad molt and it's tiny. That really scares me. It's not a bad molt. It's not a molt. It's actual leg that's actually attached to the carapace. It is an actual 9th leg. It's got 5 legs on the one side, Ellie. It's really weird to look at. It's crazy. I'm really hoping they drop it and they actually just go right back to having 8 legs. But if for some chance that doesn't happen, then I'm hoping that the leg comes out really healthy. Right now they're cruising around. They're having a good time, being a tarantula, hiding, in the moss and having a good time, eating whatever I put in there. And like I said, they do really well right now. So, but yeah, they are super tiny at the moment, which kind of worries me a bit because I don't like birth defects, and I kind of think this is a birth defect that I just completely missed, and I cannot for the life of me realize why I've missed it.
It's something that you don't really notice until you really look.
Yeah, and it wasn't something I noticed until actually they needed me because they couldn't get off the wall. They couldn't get off the wall. And I'm like, what's going on? So when I moved them, they tried to pull that piece of moss that I had to put in with them into the ICU because I didn't want to tear the thing off because as I said, it's attached to the carapace, so I don't want to rip off a leg. So I put it in there, and then I was like, it crawled back up the wall again, and it was, the moss had basically kept it in place. The moss was not coming off. So I was like, all right, extra moisture, soak it. And so I soaked it with I saturate the substrate. I put moss, what I call dry moss chips in there. They're basically just little pieces of moss that are cut up in little tiny slivers. And you could put them in there, and they expand as they absorb the excess moisture from the substrate, and they add extra humidity. And I think that it worked really, really well. So fingers crossed it ends up with a healthy leg. That's 1 in a million. Yeah, I hope I hope I don't want it to keep the extra leg. I'm hoping it'll lose the extra leg and actually come up with 8 legs. But if it ends up keeping it, I hope it comes out a healthy leg. But I don't think it is a healthy leg because like I said, it's dragging it around. It's getting caught on everything. And so yeah, I don't know. Mark says they have done 8 rehouses today for Peter Webster. Holy
Good
cow.
on Mark.
That's a lot of rehousing. Holy cow. In one day. I would have split that right in half, done 4 one day and 4 the next day.
Mark and Peter are brilliant. They really are.
I'm sorry, say again?
Mark and Peter are both brilliant. Absolutely great seeing them collaborate with each other. I hope that the rehouses will be on a video, or there'll be a video coming up soon of you guys again, Mark, because I always enjoy watching you two. It's always fun.
I'm looking for more videos, especially if they're cute with the little black velvet spider that's chewing on a butt of a. I'm sorry, it was so cute. It looked like a little caterpillar or maybe a waxworm. It drops it in there and it just grabs a little butt, just a little nibble. It was just so cute. I was laughing so hard. I was like, I had such a crappy day, and then that happened. Like I said, I had that back issues, and then while I was waiting for the meds to kick in, my nose started bleeding, so I couldn't even really get up to take care of that. It was just the best. And so I was like, you know what, screw it. I'm just watching YouTube, and all of a sudden I see Mark's video come up on my suggestion. I was like, oh, he did a new video. Click, and I see the cute little rehouse he did, and then I at the end it was just totally worth it. So I was like, oh, look at those, that was so cute. And I was laughing, so I was like, yeah, this is what I needed. So I want to say again, thank you, Mark, for sharing. That was really nice of you. Yeah, no, he does. He puts up a really good content. I really like Mark's channel. I need to have Mark the Spider Guy on my show one of these days. So, ladies and gentlemen, how Mark to come on my show. Ellie Buzz Baby says, I'm thinking of putting my LP in a box and my Skinks and Exoterra. Ellie, I'm going to tell you from my experience. You're talking about a plastic container, right? In a box, or are you talking about a aquarium with a wooden top? Elaborate on what you mean by box, because plastic doesn't do well for the LPs. I'm going to tell you right now, LPs really, really like it dry. We all want Mark, but he always unavailable. Yes, I noticed. Mark needs to come on the show. We need to convince him. We need to really convince him. So just waiting for Ellie to elaborate a little bit on what she means by a box for her LP, her Lasadora parahebana. For those who don't know what an LP is, it is a Lasadora. It's the 3rd largest species of tarantula in the world. It is no joke. It is actually has one of the worst barb-like harpooned speared tarantula hairs. I kid you not, some of the worst. But I guess my years of being exposed to fiberglass really doesn't bother me much anymore. Yeah, a plastic box with plenty of ventilation. Yeah, no, as long as what I did for, okay, so my one tarantula, my Meridonalus really likes it moist, but not too moist. So what I've done was I leave the top, it has lots and lots of mid-sized to large holes in the top. Not big enough for it to crawl through, but big enough to evaporate. But I have not put anything on the sides because they really, like I said, if it's too dry, they actually stress and they'll start wandering about, and I really feel sorry for her. So she's actually quite content in the setup she has now. But my LP, both of them, even the one that before she passed away, really, really liked it dry. So sent me an Instagram. Oh, Ellie sent me Instagrams. I got Instagram love. Instagram love. Oh crap! I got a lot of Instagram love. Okay, there she is. Is that holes all the way down the side on the corners? If that is, that is freaking awesome. Oh, it is! Holy crap! Oh, excuse me. I got a little loud in the mic there. I'm so sorry. This is one of the reasons why I'm so excited to get a filter. Oh my gosh, that is excellent. I didn't think about doing it like that. That is, holy cow. That's a gorgeous setup. I would actually make it a little bit bigger unless your tarantula is small. To be honest, because they really do love their ventilation. LPs love their open air. I've noticed mine, since she's moved into her Exoterra, she is very content. Unfortunately, though, I finally got the water situation under control, and but the bottom has saturated so much that it was being too heavy for the shelf that she was on, so I had to take her off and put her on the floor. So she's in the 23 degree instead of the normal 25, and so she doesn't quite care for that. But I'm waiting for her to dry out, and then I'll put her back. Which, I don't think she's at 23 to 25. 23 to 25 is not that big of a difference. It's more of a comfort for them at that point. So, she's not stressing, but I can tell that since she's not getting off her cork bark as much, I think she doesn't quite like it. She wants her really warm air. But unfortunately, she's just simply too heavy for the shelves. So it's either she gets hurt and possibly killed, or she just has to put up with it a little bit cooler until she dries completely out. Most of my teas are dryish to full dry. Yeah, that's weird because I would say 3/4 of my teas like it pretty dry, but the other quarter really like it like either really super humid or mildly humid in their enclosure, which is, mostly my arboreals who really like it pretty moist, except for Izzy. Izzy's just a weird one. Izzy and my before we end up closing, I have to tell Scott this. So excited to share this with you guys. My Cambergee heart attack, she's finally out of her molt again. So she is huge. Holy cow. There's a reason.
Photos.
Are you making fun of my heart attack name? She is a heart attack. Talk about. Love her to death, but she is a straight up heart attack.
And Cambridge is the Selma Polis, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
She's gorgeous, but she had this habit when I first got her. I got her when she was about 4 centimeters. And, I put her in I actually put her in an aquarium castle because the aquarium castle was all I had at the time. And she just absolutely loved it. My arboreal beforehand loved it. So I cleaned it out really good and gave it to her, and she really loved it. If you guys, I don't really like giving aquarium stuff to my tarantulas because it can't really breathe. If there's water, it'll build up mold and get all kind of nasty. But with the castle, it had like the little windows that actually allowed air to get through and dry out. And on top of that, aesthetically, it looked really cute. So what she did was she made a little webbing and behind that, so it was like a big funnel coming up. And she webbed it all the way to the top, which is perfectly fine. This is how tarantulas are, especially if they're arboreal. They're going to make this little tube-like going vertical instead of horizontal. And then I realized how much of a heart attack she really is. I knew she was going to come out and eat. I knew she was going to snap out. Like, you've seen those movies like The Hand with the zombie from the dirt, how it just instantly reaches and grabs. That was kind of how she did every feeding. And I don't care how many times I saw it, always spooked the crap out of me. And I'm like, oh. So I finally named her heart attack HA.
When I feed my boa, he just goes absolutely crazy, and it always makes me jump. I love it.
I don't like it. But the thing is, I know it. So now with the Exoterra, I put her in the actual mini. Minis are not as tall as they are wide, which is unfortunate. But getting an actual arboreal here it's like pulling teeth from an angry crocodile with a tooth infection itself. It's just like really time after time after time after time. So she's stuck in a mini. I'm sorry to say, but I've seen many people put their arboreals in smaller, which I don't agree with. And she's perfectly happy. She's really happy in there. And how I know, she's not chewing, she's not stressing, she's not running about. She chills in one spot, and that's pretty much where she likes it. So, anyways, I have this philosophy, this little side thought: if my tarantula's happy, I'm happy.
Yeah.
But anyways, so she's really kind of far in the back, which is perfectly fine because then I can just open the door and water her, and I can see exactly if she's out or not. And every time you go to water, if she's eating, if she's in the mood to eat, she'll jump out like the little hand. And that's how usually I can tell how big she is because how long her legs are. Because I've noticed as she's getting bigger, the legs, I get to see more and more legs when she makes that first move. So it's just hilarious. It's just so funny, and she'll attack the water and play around the water dish for a little bit, unless I throw in food first. Which generally, if there's food involved, if it's not just a watering day and a maintenance day, I'll throw in food first. And the attack, man, the ambush is no joke. She is all about that ambush. But she's beautiful. But the thing is, she's not bright, brilliant olive green like you would think the Cambergee would normally be, especially when it comes to female. She was actually, I thought she was a male because she was almost brown. You couldn't really even see the mark. She was pretty faded. I was like, holy crap, that's a boy. And then finally, for the first time out of, I don't know how many years I've had her. I think I've had her for Izzy. How old are you? 4. Okay, so Izzy's 4, so she's 4. I got them at the same time in a mystery box. I didn't buy the mystery box, by the way. It was sent to me by a fan, so thank you. I know a fan of mine still listening, so I want to give them a shout out and say thank you. I still have their tarantulas that they sent me. And yeah, I don't know. She's just an amazing tarantula and very fun. Like I said, she was very faded at the time, so I thought she was a boy until she finally kicked out her molt, and it was like, and I finally figured out she was a female probably this last November.
Awesome.
So yeah, she's a bit. She likes to decorate the inside of her hide with all of her dead body parts or her body parts. It's so funny. It's like
I suppose she'll last longer because obviously males, when they get mature, they don't last very long, whereas females you can still have that for quite a while.
Okay, let's put it this way. I have two Pierminias, and the Arminias, one is a boy, one is a female. One is the boy, and he's already matured. The other female is yet to mature. You can kind of tell how she acts. She's not mature at all. And he's already roaming the glass. He's no longer hiding. He hasn't eaten since October. He hasn't eaten since October. So, and I do feed him. I've gotten to the point where I try to feed him every 3 to 4 weeks instead of every 2 weeks because he's just not eating. And he refuses all food. So it's just like, yeah, it breaks my heart. But I already can see where this is going with him. Whereas the other one, she's, like I said, I don't think she's matured yet. I mean, she really can't. I mean, she is 3. No, she's 4. He's 3. And I honestly, she's not stressing at all. She's not roaming about. She comes out to eat once in a while or to drink water. I can see her when she goes to drink water once in a while. With her, I figured out how to do the perfect setup for a Peter Minya because of my experience with her. And I just love her setup, so I'm going to probably do it more often. Mark says his blondie was going into a death curl a week after getting her. We set it for a week, turning her on her back and giving her water. And now a successful molts, and now she is a savage. Well, congratulations, Mark. I'm glad to hear that you have such a good success story, because that generally doesn't happen. got a topic to discuss, whether it's a podcast or next, or this podcast or next. Okay, Stefan Harp, tell us what you got. If possible, which tarantula would you love a communal of? Well, Stefan, my heart goes straight to the Belfori, and here's why. Naturally, in the wild, they are a communal. I don't like creating communals just because I can or just because it works. I know Belfori are very forgiving, for one. This is just my opinion. Because, again, they are very forgiving. And I love them to death. But yeah, again, they're absolutely gorgeous tarantulas. For one, and two, they're, like I said, for an old world, they're very forgiving. They don't really do much of a threat pose. They're just kind of like, yeah, I'll do my thing, you do your thing. And third, they're pretty hardy, actually. Now, the problem with communals is, and now I know this from experience, they will eat each other. Cannibalization is a huge part of communal life. What it does, it also keeps the boys from overpopulating, so the girls will eat the boys. Now, there is a hierarchy in who eats who's first. So if you're a weak female and you can't eat, and you're slowly starving, your siblings will definitely put you down out of your misery and eat you. That is the hard life of a communal. Your thoughts? What do you want, Scott? What would you like for?
I have a couple of ideas. Obviously, I know nothing about natural behavior, so I'm just going on looks. But Harpactira pulchra peas, whichever one it is, the posh version of the Balfouri. I think it's called the blue-legged gold baboon or something like that. Is its common name? I think it's pulchra peas. But yeah, I think that would be awesome because it's like an even sexier version of a Balfouri communal, which would be great. Or if you go New World, I think the like Stefan said, the GBB or the I believe it's called the Copper Top. It looks a bit like a GBB, but again, it's like a sexier version. I saw it on the Tarantula Collective's video on expensive tarantulas that he's recently put out. I don't know if you follow Richard, but I
haven't seen that one. At least it's Golden Lake Baboon. The H poker piece, yep. But this Copper Top, no, this is new to my ears. Do you know the scientific name?
I can't remember off the top of my head. It was completely new to me. I will send you the link to Richard's video because it's on the Tarantula Collective on YouTube.
Yep. Yeah, I'm very familiar with them. They actually they were really nice because when I first started my podcast before I became broke, I would use some of his stuff as a gift during a contest. And of course, he didn't give anything for free, but I wasn't asking for anything for free either. I was just asking if I could use his stuff, and he said, "Yeah, no problem." So stickers and hats and stuff like that was great. A really nice guy too. I'm hoping one of these days, if I ever get as big as him, I'd have him on the show for an interview. That's one of my future goals in life. Some of the bigger YouTubers as for interviews, that would be excellent, awesome. But I also love you guys so much that I just love having you guys on the show as well. So, no. So if we're talking about fictional, a fictional, what do you call it? A fictional communal. Oh my gosh, that would be I have them too. Which ones are those called? Hold on. I don't know the common term for them.
I think a communal of Perifosa would be incredibly unsettling. A pack of 8 blondies running at you.
Yeah, no, that would be kind of the stuff made of nightmares, wouldn't
it? Yeah. I mean, I'd rather sit down and watch Arachnophobia or Repeat than be put in a room with 8 blondies. And for anyone that doesn't know, Arachnophobia is a film that I will never be able to watch again, no matter how much I love tarantulas, because it scared me. And for like
What
a
is
year
the-
after watching it, I was
I,
checking out the toilet.
I have to figure this out because it's driving me nuts. Because they're like the Chilean the Chilean dwarf flame tarantula, but I cannot find what they're called because the guys I'm thinking of, because I have a few of them. They're green, as well as red and orange markings. So I'm trying to find them. They're actually quite beautiful, and they're dwarf species. So if anybody can help me out, that'd be great. And for her, it was a film called Rats. That would cockroaches would be my worst nightmare. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Let me look up. Let me hold on a second. Keep talking. Entertain the audience. Be my
Hello,
co-host.
audience. So I'm getting used to my scorpions now, my little scorplings. I will be offering them some more food in the next couple of days. At the moment, I'm just giving them parts of mealworms as they will scavenge, and I am trying baby isopods because they're about the smallest feeders I have, but the Silenus is the size of my pinky fingernail, so it's really I was saying on the lads' night in the other day, I'm out of my depth, but I'm comfortably out of my depth. So I'm really enjoying the challenge so far.
Okay, hold on. I found the list of them, but I don't see whether we approved it or not. Hold on. I do not see them because I got the Amelia, the Hamori, the Tripepe, the Zenithus, the Stremi. But what about? Okay, this is the list that he couldn't have. Suriname. Okay, it's a Suriname. That I'm talking about. Oh, centipedes are the worst of nightmares. Centipedes are not, and I've been bit by one. Ellie Bug Baby says I've never watched it thoroughly properly, but yeah, and no. I have to agree with that. Like I said, I feel Ellie because when it comes to tarantulas, I'm okay with, but when it comes to the feeding, like I said, the roaches, just nope, loud nope. I have such issues looking at them. I hear vehicles in the background.
Pardon?
The inns, Neo. Yes, it's the Neostranisaurus Suriname tarantula. I think a communal of them would be really good.
I think Mark's got a good one in the chat. Panthabetius solaris. I think that would be quite impressive. Because if I'm right in saying, I believe that's the one that's quite bright on the carapace, and then it goes out towards like an umbra, like a nice fiery tint on the legs, isn't it? Or am I thinking of something else?
I'm not sure. But everybody loves Pampos.
Yeah. I mean, who doesn't love a purple tarantula?
I like my purple tarantulas. I also like my green tarantulas, my brown tarantulas, my blue tarantulas, my orange tarantulas.
I can't wait till Stefan's new edition gets bigger. He's got what's it called? The Brazilian blue. The name's gone in and out of my head quicker than I can even say it.
Are you talking
Sazamai.
about, say again?
Sazamai.
Oh yeah, no, I've got the sesame. Or
I can't
sesame.
wait to hear stuff
Sesame
about.
is, I think it's more correct. The pea sesame. I love my sesame. My big baby. Well, he's not really big. He's kind of like a medium, smaller medium. What do you want to call him? Yeah, I love his personality. He's such a sweetheart. He's such a curious critter too. Once you give them plenty of room, they're just absolutely curious about everything. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap it up here. I'm kind of short on time, so I don't want to take away too much from Friday's show, because hours. I'm limited. I'm limited on hours. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you like this show, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We will be back next Wednesday with Comfy Pants Wednesday. We're going to end this with a song. I just want to give everybody a proper shout out before we do. I want to say thank you, Scott Animal Adventures. So, Scott, thank you so much for being here.
Always a pleasure.
It's incredibly great to have you here. And you're like, it's a pleasure, and I'm cutting you off. I'm such a mean, I'm such a horrible host. I want to say thank you, Mark, Ellie, and who else? I think Mark and Ellie about the only ones talking. And then I think everybody left to go and hang out with the Fatal Fangs. We also have Stefan Harup also says hello. And they are here. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know some of these people, please look them up. Go check out their YouTube. Go give them a like, a subscribe, and tell them how your day went. They got some of the biggest shoulders and biggest ears you've ever seen. They love to listen to your problems and maybe help you out with your tarantula and, well, I should say tarantula, but your invert, reptilian, and amphibian care. And, of course, Ellie loves to help out with her kitty care.
And please show Stefan some love on Instagram. His Insta is Spoods and Scovilles Stefan. Really just my best mate from so long ago, and I'm so glad that he kind of got me thinking about inverts and that, because without him I don't think I'd be in the hobby as much as I was watching Dark then and that before really getting into it. Stefan kind of gave me that confidence to go towards scorpions, and who knows, maybe eventually he'll get me into a tarantula, but between you and him, I think
you realize I'm going to send you a tarantula this summer. You're not getting
you're
out of
not going to send me a tarantula without my permission.
You sure about that? You wanted to see the layout of the box. Nothing better than getting a surprise package and be like, ta-da! See, here you go. Now you got your own tarantula. I've got an Nalu tripepe with your name on it.
I just couldn't. I think I'd just open it and like absolutely just die.
Of cuteness. You would die of cuteness, I promise.
Yeah, okay. We'll see.
You'll have to have a tarantula. Yep, he does. He's going to have to get a tarantula. Stefan, type in your Instagram in the chat as I play this last song. So our last song of the day is Any, Mini, Miny, Mo. I got to pick one. And it is When the Sun Goes Down. And of course it has to load. The loading. Why is it not loading? I think I lost my internet. Did I lose my internet with you guys?
No, you're still here. Just no music yet.
Let me refresh the page.
Just personally, I'd like to thank everyone for being here. It does mean a lot to us. And I can't wait to be back next week. I'm sorry I wasn't here last week. It was a personal reason, so I'm really glad to be back. And it's great to see you all again.
You had a bit of a rough week, but we're happy to have you back. And you're going to be here next week. You get no choice. Yep. You're my Wednesday co-host. You're my co-host. I
love it. And I've got my logo now.
I got it to work. I had to refresh the page.
Awesome. I'm mute now.
A million people in the crowd, but I only see your face in all the lights. And as the bass keep pounding on me, baby, I really wanna make you mine. I don't really care about love. I don't really care about happy ever after. Something about you gives me hope. Something about you, yeah. When the sun goes down and the night sky's falling, do you believe in one-time lovers? 'Cause deep inside of my wildest dreams, you'll be by my side. When the sun goes down. City dancing through the night, but I'm not there. You've got me soaring in the clouds. And as the ocean is surrounding me, baby, I'm sure we lost track of time. I don't really care about love. I don't really care about happy ever afters. Something about you gives me hope. Something about you, yeah. When the sun goes down and the night sky's falling, do you believe in one-time lovers? 'Cause deep inside of my wildest dreams, you'll be by my side. When the sun goes down. Something about you gives me hope.